another episode of Just Two Girls Who Work Together. Oh, did I just say Just Two Girls Who Work Together? Actually, it's Just Two Girls Who Work Together. And that guy, welcome our new co-host, Rashad.
And the crowd goes wild.
Right.
So it's literally Monday night. This is a special episode because of the Verzuz that we just finished watching. We are on Central Time, so it is 10:18. And Rashad, it is what,
8:18 here.
Yeah, so we just finished up. We're recording this for you guys, and our actual kickoff of our new with our new co-host actually starts next Monday. But this was such a special event, we could not miss it. So we'll give you a little bit more about ourselves and our new co-host next week. So moving right into it, Verzuz. We had Brandy versus Monica, or Monica versus Brandy. We just gonna give it to you how we want to give it to you because it's late. We tired. They really should have had a second service for the whole damn thing because it was long.
Yeah. It was pretty long, but I wasn't bothered by the time, but it looked like a lot of people was, so I don't know.
Once it got to the end and Monica started playing Trust and stuff, I was like, all right, I'm out.
Them the songs the club about to end. I'm like, okay, girl, where y'all going? Where y'all finna eat at?
Right.
So for me, it wasn't so much like it was like the time, but I think in the middle, like the parts in the middle.
It got a little, it dragged a little bit, yeah.
So we want to definitely talk about like the impact. First of all, shout out to them. Shout out to Verzuz. 1.1 million people watching this. They have broken the record of Jill Scott and Erykah Badu, which was the highest rated one. They have now broken that record. So shout out to them for doing this for the culture. That's huge.
And there's a rumor that they beat the VMA ratings last night. I don't know how true that is. I have to look it up, but yeah.
If they did, amazing. I mean, how big is that for the culture?
Right.
I mean, that proved a lot of things. One, people, R&B still lives, for one. People still
in space.
Yes, it's not dead. It was never dead.
Yeah. People still love them. And of course, the fans, because in this situation, you can't even really say stands with them because the rivalry or the fandom has been like this for almost 30 years between the two of them. Right. It's still there. I mean, we got grown people really like debating online.
Yeah, I've been in the comments on Facebook and Instagram, and people don't know what the fuck they talking about.
Wow. So let's start here. I guess we can start with like, why was this Verzuz like so big? Like, what made it so iconic? I think we start there.
Well,
go ahead,
Keisha.
I was just going to say, you just said it. The Verzuz has been going on for over 20 years. So this is just an official version of what we already been doing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's kind of like you said, it's an official version. It's something that's been going on between fans and everyone, music people, everybody, like for years. So I think that's what I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but it all meshed.
It was a culmination of things.
It was a culmination of things, so that's what I think made it so big.
Right.
Yeah. I think it was that. I think Keisha, you can agree with me. I think from childhood, first of all, we will say this as a disclaimer. Keisha and I, well, more me than her, were team both. So it was very difficult for us to separate because we both enjoyed it. But as little girls, you had Monica, Brandy, Aaliyah. Like, it was those three, and you just loved them. You know what I'm saying? And so, but the battle literally has been there since we were kids. Like, it was either you couldn't be both. You either had to be Team Brandy or Team Monica. And I was the person that was in the middle trying to do both parts on the boys' mind. So, but that battle has just been there forever.
I had different stages. Like, the beginning of my life was Brandy, and then high school and college was Monica.
Yeah. I think I
just like both of them growing up.
They have their own styles, and we talked about this. People don't realize how many similarities they actually have. than how they differ. When we talk about like the music, like image wise, very different.
Right.
You right there. Image wise, very different. But as far as the music and the maturity of the music, like both of them coming out with the vocals that they had at such young ages, unheard of, their voices. Then the material that they were releasing, it was like coming of age. With both of their albums, they both kind of told the same stories, just in different ways, but it was still the coming of age story. So they had a lot of similarities musically, and also their inspiration being Whitney.
Yeah, their careers paralleled each other. So like you said, it was coming of age. So, and they were both kind of around the same age. So it's like when one was doing like, you know, sad teeny songs or whatever, the other one was doing the same thing, and then it gradually like grew. So it definitely paralleled. I agree there.
Yeah. So I think it was, I mean, for the culture itself, two queens, they grew up, you know, we watched them grow up, we watched them blossom into grown adult women, having their own children, building their own careers. I think it was just iconic and good to see. And it was great for R&B music. I mean, people just constantly believe that it's, you know, what they classify now is adult contemporary. You know, they kind of sleep on it, and so it was just huge for us to watch. I mean, it was a really good reminder for R&B music, just, you know, how it used to feel, how it used to be, the different styles of R&B. So, and you could just tell in the comments, you know, so many people saying, bring this type of music back, or, oh, I wish I was alive during this time, or, oh, I was too young to appreciate it. So
right. And then they were saying this was before auto-tune, and then even like Brandy and Monica, they were talking about, remember when we used to do 2 things for each single? We had the regular version, the remix, and they would do a video for the remix too. So yeah, that needs to come back.
Yeah, I mean, if you were watching, if you were, you know, if you're younger than us, or even if you're somebody that just didn't indulge in like that form of music as a child, like this was really like a teaching moment for people. It was really like, I mean, a teaching moment, just the way that the songs, like the history that they gave you on the songwriters and the people that were contributing to the records that they had, even just watching or listening to them vocally, even the little bits that they were doing. I mean, it was a masterclass for sure.
Yeah. The ease at which they were just throwing out the runs and coming in and out and stuff. It was like everybody was just salivating for more. Everybody's just like, I want more. Like, please sing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So let's get into this. So we've talked about why iconic it is. I think we don't have to even go into that more because people know, like, long awaited, long anticipated. We didn't think that we would ever see this. I mean, nobody did.
I believed that it was going to happen. And I knew it was, and it did.
So
I didn't see this coming. Like I wasn't sure if we would ever get anything that was kind of like I don't know, like just them together again, like just doing something. I don't really think we was probably gonna get that again, but yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, I thought, and I think Monica alluded to this a little bit, the story, the narratives that the fans, or not even fans, people that, you know, just people in general have put together, I think, you know, was the reason why many people didn't think that it would happen, you know, because of all the other drama. But it was necessary. It was necessary for the culture. If you're going to do a versus, what better two people verse off? It just makes talked about why it was iconic. I think everybody knows that. But moving on to the show itself. Okay. So show comes on. They come out. First of all, I was disappointed. Like, when the camera cut on, I was like, oh, this.
Yeah.
2 cheers. I was like, and then Missy gave me a little bit of hope in the comments.
Right.
Like, what if the curtains rise and it's like a band behind it? And I was like, it could be that.
And the DJ was lit at the beginning. Yeah. I was ready.
Hold on. Before we even talk about them, the DJ, period, doing the beginning and the intermission, lit. Yeah.
He did a great job. A really great job.
Yeah, it was a nice mixture of music. I wasn't ready. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, right. Yeah, and another one. Okay.
But yeah, when I saw just the 2 chairs, and I was like, and then like you said, Missy said something about the curtain. I was like, maybe. And then the way they just kind of came on and just like the music just cut out, and then they just came on and like hugged and sat down. I was like, dang, it wasn't no type of like pomp or circumstance or nothing. Like
Nothing.
Man, I thought that because Terica sent me the little promo videos that they had.
Yeah.
I thought they were at least gonna have like a promo video at the beginning, and then they were gonna have some kind of intro, because in the 90s they did the most when it came to everything.
So that's the thing, though.
So I was expecting the most.
And that was the thing. We talked about that 30 minutes before. We were talking about okay, because first of all, I didn't even see the Brandy promo before I saw the Monica promo first. Mm-hmm. And first of all, they did the Brandy one, the vocal Bible thing. Then they do Monica's, her going to get a catalog. Then they do the Mekhi Phifer Boys Mind. It's like some thought went into this whole marketing idea. Some thought went into it. And I know they wanted to do numbers. And they probably had to do numbers for them to agree to do it. It's probably some other stuff behind the scenes that we don't know about. And they knew it was going to do numbers because of who it was. But to build that anticipation, they did this whole push for marketing. We talked about the merch. They did that all week long. We saw that. But then we get here and you got 2 chairs sitting there. and you were at Tyler Perry Studios, which we said they could utilize to their advantage, but they got 2 chairs sitting.
Yeah, they didn't have to go to Tyler Perry Studios for that. They could have did that in rooms at Monica's house in Atlanta. Goddamn.
Yeah, they could have did that. They could have did that anywhere because them announcing it that it's like it's at Tyler Perry Studios. It gives it this thing of like, okay, it's gonna be like an event, kind of like. I mean, this was an event, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it's gonna be like production or whatever, like value to it or whatever. And I was hoping for them to utilize the space really well. I mean, it would have been nice. It would have been nice if there was a live band there to like kind of go through the stuff with them, and it would have been nice if they would sing a little more. But we got what we got. But yeah,
I agree.
I agree, but I think when I say it was a masterclass for people, I think that also could have been a huge thing about showmanship and just how they have preserved their voices over all these years, which we got a little tad bit, but I think we could have gotten more of that had they actually maybe had a band there or maybe utilized the stage that they had, like something. But I guess
because it was like it was primed for them to like really be up there like performing with each other, feeding off each other's energy. The crowd was there. Everybody was hyping them up. Like it had the perfect mix for that, but it just unfortunately it didn't go there.
Yeah.
Right. They definitely did not live up to their full potential.
Yeah. Well, I ain't gonna say all that, but no.
I mean, I said it for you, so you ain't got to.
Right. I mean, it was enjoyable, but I do understand. Like I was hoping for a little more because it did in the middle. It kind of like it kind of fell a little bit and got a little when they kind of started playing some of the newer stuff, which I get. Like it's 1.2 million, people plug and promote, but like it got to a point where you were kind of like, okay, I want to get back to the hits. Like you were like, okay, like all right, like move it on.
Yeah. I agree. I feel like I think the artistic side of us wanted to see that the true fans of them wanted to see them like give us more than what we got. But I mean, we have to understand, like, we don't know what the contract is. We don't know if this is all you need to do. But on the flip side, you gave us this amazing promo. You put this merch out there. We know the funds went to the voting, I guess what they're doing with Michelle Obama, former First Lady Michelle Obama. Like I know they're doing all that, but it just felt like they could have done a lot more. It just
felt for sure. Like I mean, the promo materials they had would lead you to believe, because when you sent me those videos, I was like, oh, okay, so they're putting a lot of thought into it. But I don't know. I mean, we got Kamala as which was a cool surprise. I thought that was kind of
cool. I ain't watched that for her, but okay.
I do wish there would have been more guests.
That's what I wanted. I wanted Usher. I wanted a few people.
Some people, I mean,
Timbaland. I just knew Timbaland was gonna show up.
They couldn't let Ray J slide on that scooty bike.
Right.
Right. Hit us with the one wish real quick and dip during the intermission.
Y'all are so funny. So yeah, we wanted appearances. We did want more of them singing, so maybe some live singing, more of it. Even they utilized the set where they were, just because it was an experience and the way they built it up. So we expected a little bit more. Moving on to like opening songs. So Brandy starts off with "What About Us," and Mo starts off with "Everything."
I thought when she started out the gate with "What About Us," that threw me for a loop because I was not expecting that to come out
Same.
first. I was like, oh, I was like, okay, we starting like this. Okay, I liked it though. I mean, it was "Everything." That was the slow one, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I love that song and I love the other song, so I don't know like how that one could really. That wasn't a good matchup to me, but those are two great songs.
Mm-hmm. I felt the same way. I was like, Brandy came in with a banger to like bring the energy and get them started off on the right foot. Right. And then I felt like Monica kind of brought it down a little bit. Yeah. And I was like, okay, yeah, like you. I like this song. It's amazing. It's one of my favorite songs by her. But I was expecting like an upbeat, song for Monica to go with that.
I did too. I expected it to be a different song. I'm not mad at either of the choices, but I felt because to people that were in the comments, they felt like they both came out swinging because they were such big record. So I think that was the good side of it. But I just, like you said, both of y'all said, like, I just didn't expect those two records to go head to head with each other. It didn't make. And
I kind of feel like throughout it, there were moments where they did match them right, like well, and then there were moments where they were just kind of playing stuff that was good and that didn't really matter. So, I mean, I was cool with either way.
Yeah, I think I can't even remember. They both when they both did because I think Brand did. It was either "When You Touch Me" or it was "He Is," one of the two. And then I think Monica came back with "Anything," like songs like that were like bigger album type of situation. And people like really liked from the album. Like that's always smart to do. So I thought that was a smart move. But yeah, I didn't expect either song. Then we go on, like you said, Rashad. Eventually, they start kind of matching up with the songs, kind of following each other, which they did really well.
Oh no, I was just gonna say what discographies from both of them, right? Like it's just, I was just like, wow, like it wasn't anything I wasn't familiar. It was maybe like two things I wasn't familiar with from each, but like other than that, I mean, even some of the stuff they played, I forgot about. Like the Set It Off soundtrack one, I forgot all about that song. I was like, oh yeah, And then I thought it was cool that she worked in Cinderella. She worked in something else too. I thought that was really neat.
I'm not even gonna sit here and play with y'all like I didn't look at Monica's face when she played that shit.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't even looking. That was the part where I had already left.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Her face was like, and then she tried to like play it off and get into it. I was like, nah, you felt that. You felt, you
right.
I mean, you felt it. But it was times that I don't know. I feel like, and I don't want to really get into because here on our show, we don't really get into the gossip side of things. We try to stay away from that. So I don't really want to talk about like, their personalities or whatever. But of course, we have to touch on it just a little bit. I kind of feel like Brandy came into it. When you're like awkward, you don't know what to say because you ain't seen somebody in a long time. Yeah. You just say anything. That's what it felt like for me with Brandy. Yes.
It was a very awkward energy. And
it was.
I was thinking that the whole time. I was like, this is a little cringy or whatever. Because like you said, it did kind of come off like she didn't really know how to like act. Like it was just kind of like she was being silly, but not being silly, but then doing too much and not doing like it was just kind of
Yeah, and then
I was wondering what the conversation they had, because like Monica mentioned the conversation they had before, and I was like, well, what y'all talk about? Because it don't seem like everything is 100% all good. It seems like y'all left off on a weird note.
Yeah, it was very like frenemy energy.
Yeah, like it was fake. Let's get this money and get this over with so I can go back home.
Well, I don't agree with that, but
the frenemy thing, but then I also kind of feel like, you know, you always got that one friend, you be like, I love her, but I can only take her with a grain of salt. Like, I can really just deal with her like, I can really just only deal with her in certain situations. It kind of felt that way. But then also, I felt like from the Mo side, it felt like, I mean, we all know that who she is who she is. She's always kind of been the same. But at times that felt a little forced. Like, I just gotta show y'all how real I am and how down I am and how, like, that's her personality. That's who she is. Yeah. But like, it does seem like both of them were forcing themselves to be the image that everybody has already perceived of them. Like,
right.
I gotta overly show you that I'm the good girl. Like, ooh, don't say that. Don't do this. You know,
that was annoying.
That was a little annoying, I have to say.
And the fact that she said we got millennials, bitch, millennials are grown as fuck. They say hoe, been saying hoe. Some of us been hoes.
And your child is all grown.
Oh yeah, I was like, ain't her child like 18?
Grown?
Yeah.
She like 18, ain't she?
It was so weird. It was so weird. But I think it's just, you haven't been around that person. Y'all do have some past, you know, whatever the issue is. I think, and then also Brandy came out to me as like, I'm gonna get you before you can get me, or I'm gonna say something before you can say something. So like the little jabs here and there, it was like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna say something before you can say it, or, you know, it was that type of thing. It just felt very awkward, like I said, and very weird. But for me, and I think the two of you all, I was just wanting to focus on like the moment and the fact that we were even getting that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very exciting. Like, even before they came on, you could feel the anticipation through like the comments. Like, everybody was just like, you could really, and it got you hyped. Like, cause I was sitting here like excited. It was like an energy to it for sure.
Yeah. My stomach was like, I had butterflies, like I was about to do the verses. It's like, I'm serious. I was like, woo, where we going with it? What we gonna play first? How we coming out the gate? Cause I'm thinking, you know, in my mind, I had already made up, they gonna come out the gate, we're gonna hear the do.
Right, yeah.
I thought we was gonna come out, meet in the middle.
It was a really strong opening. Like, even just starting off, like, it was out the gate, it was really strong. And then when we got to that break, that's when it kind of like got a little iffy. But they got it back, but it took a little minute to get it back. But yeah.
Right.
I do like how they did the mixes in there. I love that, you know, Brandy did the pop thing and did the biggie thing, which was really cool. Another shot. I don't care what y'all say, but she was being nice, nasty, just a little bit. Love her, but come on now.
I don't think so.
Brand was that quick. Let's quit. Gloves are off. Y'all know Brandy was that girl. She was.
And she can't help that.
And she can't. But she was not considered the underdog during that time period. And she was the person that, like, she got shouted out. I don't know many songs that maybe Mo got shouted out in like that. Like, she was your, you know, down south, they loved her. She was known, but she was that girl, right? And so I do feel like she was like, okay, you know, let me hit you with this. Let me hit you with that. I mean, that is what a Verzuz is about. Let's not clear. So she was supposed to do that. The gloves were off. But at the same time, I think Mo, being Mo, her focus was, I'm just gonna hit you with these records. Because Keisha, I think we wrote them down technically.
Yeah, we did our own little set list.
Technically, Monica does have more songs. Now, bigger hits, and this goes back to when we were talking about, I think there was another Verzuz. More songs, catalog versus bigger hits. I think this is the battle you saw.
Quantity versus quality.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So I do like when Monica mixed the anything with the Snoop, touch my other, cause I'm down. What? It was nice.
That was cool.
I was not expecting that. And then when I heard it, I was like, oh shit.
Okay, we finna stump him.
I enjoyed all the little mixes. I thought they were pretty cool.
They were. But I think overall, like, Brandy kept hinting at a tour, and Monica was like, "We just got back here."
Right. Monica hit her with the biggest eye roll.
Like, what I can't understand. Huh?
We are not a group.
We are not. She put emphasis on not. She was like, we are not a group.
I just don't understand. Like, I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, why? It just seemed like that should have happened already. Like a joint
Right.
tour.
It's like too late now.
Like, yeah. Well, I don't think. Well, if things get back going, they can do it. But it's like it just seemed like that. It's so smart. Like, why hasn't that been done? Like, that's a no-brainer, like money maker.
Right.
And a joint project or a joint EP. Me and Terry talk about it often. I think they should do a joint EP or record or something together. Like, it's just like it's the easiest thing to do. Like that would be big, you know. And I'm very surprised the tour has not happened with those two.
Has there ever been like two women to collab on an album like that? Ever? Because you know, you got Omarion and Bow Wow, R. Kelly and Jay-Z.
Not to my knowledge. I don't think anyone.
Not to my knowledge, you know.
That's interesting.
Not like a best of both worlds type of situation. No, not that like is at the top of my mind that I can think of.
That would be epic.
I mean, but then again, you got to go to the place where people got to do what they feel like is not forced and what's right for them. Because if it's forced, then the music is not going to come out the way it should. You know?
Right.
And so, because we cannot lie. Whether they say they want to do this for the culture or not, which I believe they did a little bit, it felt a little forced. It felt a little forced.
They got music out. Brandy just dropped an album. Monica is about to. It's perfect timing for them.
Plus truth. But it just felt forced. I was just saying, it just felt forced to me.
I mean, I could see where you can get that from. Like at times it seemed like they were really like into it with each other, and then sometimes it did feel like kind of awkward and stuff. So, I mean, my biggest disappointment is that they didn't perform The Boy's Mind together. Like I'm just like, this is. I'm like, the people want to see it, and like we're all here. Like it's just some of the things that were done. I don't know. Some of the stuff is just like it's just easy money maker. I don't understand, but yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't even do It All Belongs to Me. Now I know that wasn't that big of a hit, but it was still a song they had together, and I was expecting to at least hear it.
Yeah.
I think because when The Boy's Mind came on, like the thing, that's when you can tell the difference between Brandy and Monica. Like the media training, Brandy is sticking to the script. She don't give a damn. She is an actress to her core.
Yeah.
I don't care how you feel about me, but we said we're gonna do this. I'm gonna play this thing. She was trying to pull her.
She was trying to get her to sing everything the whole time. Trying to harmonize,
Now she was throwing shots when she was talking about the harmonies because she know damn well Monica ain't harmonizing on nothing.
He's stupid.
Monica do got harmonies, don't get me wrong, but she ain't to Brandy's level, the stacking, all that. She knows. But like you said, her whole thing was, I'm gonna be a team player. If we gotta do this, like sing with me, girl. You know, she wasn't here for it. And then you get to The Boy's Mind, and it's like the song you should be singing to.
Right.
And up there holding the mic. You can say that.
Right.
Yeah. That was the biggest like letdown to me. I was just like, we can't, because we already don't. There's not a lot of footage of them even singing this live together. Like I think there's only maybe 2 performances out of all the years or whatever. So I'm like, it's like this is the moment for y'all to do this, like, because we don't get this like at all. So yeah,
for sure. So I will say that, and I'm sure you all agree with me, I think the biggest winners of tonight are us fans, the culture. We're the biggest winners. And second of all, I think the biggest winners are the writers and the producers. Because
they about to get a fat check.
Yeah. Everybody gonna be going to stream their all their music now. So I mean, all of them win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Biggest moments of the night for them, and it just took you down memory lane to remember how great of a records they were. You know, how like the albums like gelled and they flowed, and like people really took time to put time into what they put out. They didn't just release anything. Nowadays you get a single and it don't flow with none of the rest of the album. It don't make you feel some type of way. You know, we were listening to these records and it was like, dang, they feel like they could come out now and you would feel the same way you felt 20 years ago. these were still really good records. So, yeah. But yeah. Was there anything else that y'all like wanted to see from the Verzuz that we did not get?
I mean, the only thing for me, like I said, was the utilization of just the moment in the space, and them performing a little bit more, and guests. So everything we kind of touched.
Yeah, we already talked about it. I just wrote a note. I said, "Where the fuck is Usher for Slow Jam?" on my notes.
Right.
I'm in front of your house. You want him to kick coming out, and then he could have went into "Who Is She to You" the remix.
Man, they could have done so much.
Was there any songs that y'all wanted to hear that you didn't hear? I feel like they kind of covered everything almost.
I think they did.
Let's see.
I'm glad that Brandy did her remixes because she has some bomb ass remixes, and I'm glad she played those.
I mean, she didn't do anything off Human.
She didn't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she had 2 hits on Human.
Yeah.
I mean, she played like what? She played only one off of 211, right?
Put It Down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She only played the one. She put an Aphrodisiac in that Full Moon Out, boy. She was like, I'm gonna give y'all this. Like, she didn't play many features that she's had outside of the Daniel Caesar.
Right.
Which was shocking to me because she does have features on other people's songs.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting that she didn't play. I thought Monica was going to play the DMX song she has, Go Home Tonight. I thought she was gonna play that. That was on After the Storm. She didn't play that one. I'm glad she didn't play All Eyes on Me. I'm so glad she didn't play.
I actually wanted her to play it. That's the one I was looking for from her. I was like, oh, she ain't gonna play that.
Up in the cloud. Oh, she didn't play. Or did she? Did she play Knock Knock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that part because I was turned.
Okay. Wasn't there another one on there on that album? Because she had Knock Knock. She had So Gone.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm missing something.
Should have known better.
Played that one. She played that one. I feel like we missing something.
But those are the only 3 hits I remember off that album.
I feel like we missing something, but I could be wrong. But yeah.
I would love to see these with like a live audience, like with the cheering and
yes,
and all
the
that
energy, yes.
We need like because it was when we could hear them, when we could hear them in the room with Monica and Brandy, their respective camps. To me, it brought the energy up a lot more. We heard them screaming and stuff in the background. So I think they should figure out a way to like maybe have some kind of live audience aspect to it or something for that energy for sure.
Yeah. Because it's like, like sports. You feel like the athletes, they don't perform to their best abilities if nobody is watching.
Right. And like when we're sitting at home in our respective places, and everything. And just as I was just thinking, I was like, man, it'd be actually kind of cool to like hear that like other people or get that same energy or whatever, where it's not just you at home by yourself, hype. So
yeah,
they need to do the same thing the NBA is doing.
I was actually thinking about the next album. She didn't do Hell No with Twister. That's another one of the things we're following. But yeah, I mean, I think I would like the live audience, to your point, when they were like rooting on the side. It was kind of good to see that. It made you hype. It made you hype hearing them do that. I think it's good that their respective families were there to kind of support them through that. I thought they were there to be the security, but hey, well,
I think they kind of need like a moderator or a host or something.
I know,
because I feel like that would keep the energy up, kind of like a Steve Harvey and You Got Served, or like in AM1 they have somebody with the mic commentating the whole time. Now, granted, I don't need you talking during the whole song now.
Right.
But we need somebody to keep the energy going.
I agree with you. We do need like a moderator, host kind of thing, like somebody kind of like you say, kind of just guide the whole thing for sure.
Yeah. Maybe it would have helped with the poems
said Moesha. Moesha brought out her journal.
The poems were good, but I was just like, this girl really thinks she Moesha for real. Yeah,
I mean, maybe Moesha is Brandy and Brandy is Moesha.
Yeah, I think that they were trying to think of because like if you were planning for a real battle, like you would try to think of clever ways to segue into your songs, and so I mean that was her flow, and so that's what she did. I did like hearing some of the stories behind the songs or behind like, how they worked on them. That's always good to hear. Okay.
Yeah, I love stuff like that.
Take a brief break. What we were saying was that one of the other things that we noticed is that people that were like Team Brandy or Team Monica, there was like a clear split, right?
Yes.
To me, it was musicians and then people
true artists.
I won't say that because I know a lot of true artists that supported Monica, but I'll say people that like have a musical type of ear, or singers, musicians really were like rooting for Brandy. And I think that was because of the vocal ability, and then the other people that were going for Monica were going based off like image, personality, like relatability to the song or the content. I think that was like the split for me.
I mean, you could definitely see their similarities, but you saw their differences in their vocal takes. Like you could see why there's two, like, I don't know, you can see why there's like, you can either like both or you're more on this or more on that, because Monica's like, was more like, when you listen to all the stuff she plays, more power, or whatever, and Brandy's is a lot more subtle nuances, a lot of technique, and a lot of, just a lot smoother and darker and things like that. So it was kind of interesting. It was very interesting hearing their songs played up against each other and noticing like their differences to how they approach their music. But
yeah.
Keisha?
I didn't say it all. Like, I don't have nothing else to say.
I think like as they got older, because like you have the coming of age story from like their first album, their second album. I would kind of say third album just a little bit, but I think you started to see like their artistic views change much more the older that they got. Records, because you could hear it as they were trying to play them against each other. That's why those times we were like, they don't match. The records don't match well because their artistic vision was very much different by that time. So what do we feel about Verzuz? Do we feel like at this point we're done? They could not, they can't top this one because that's 1 point. Actually, it was 1.2 million, y'all. So do we feel like they can't top this? Do we feel like they should like lay it to rest? TV show?
I could see it moving into doing like retrospectives with certain artists, like kind of like how Babyface did his thing with the Wait and Exhale soundtrack. Like kind of, I could see them moving into doing ones like that with people that you really can't put like a Mariah Carey or or a Janet or somebody like people you can't really do a verses with. Like I would like to see that. I can see them moving into doing stuff like that, and with producers and songwriters, kind of more retrospective. Let's talk about the music.
Yeah, I like those better. I like the stories behind the songs and all that.
Yeah, because I just feel like you're gonna run out with the verses. Like
and they're close to running out right now. Yeah. Because not everybody has 20 hits now. Like it's getting really hard to find people with 20 hits.
Yeah, for sure. Like even with people who are big, some of them still don't have a catalog to do, like to sit there with somebody and do 20 songs that the majority of everyone's going to know almost all 20 songs. So
because we got to think about it. To be honest with you, the song Monica actually went 20 songs of actual charted songs. She actually went straight 20 with charted songs. Brandy, however, did have to kind of rely on some of her album cuts to fill her 20. So, I mean, the reality is that if it was hard for them, and we know what type of catalog they got, just imagine the rest of the people, like it's going to be very, very difficult for them to come up with hits. If we're just talking hits, it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, they're going to have to revise the rules. But I was looking at the comments and people were throwing out suggestions and I was like, Somebody said Mariah Carey and Celine Dion, and I was like,
Queen Naja said Ashanti versus Tamia. What?
I saw that. I was like, what?
I can't. And then somebody said Mary and Faith. And I was like,
And my thing was that's like teacher versus student. Like you can't, they're not the same. I'm sticking with Mary and Mariah. I know it probably will not happen, but that would be.
Hey, you never know, because we thought Brandy and Monica wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, well.
I don't know. I feel like people just throwing out names now, like without any thought behind, like.
Yeah, they're just saying hey, here are two women that sing. Yeah. Let's throw them together.
They might as well.
You also got to realize it's got to be entertaining enough where people want to watch it. Like it's like, you know, people don't want to come on and be hearing songs they really don't know, and like, you know, it's got to be
exactly.
Yeah.
Now, at first, I was not the biggest fan of the idea of Ashanti and Keisha Cole going head to head, but when I thought about it, first of all, it would be nostalgic. It absolutely would be nostalgic. And two, they might not have exactly 20 hits, but they got the features that will help them out a little bit. I think they could at least do 15 and be okay, and it'd be entertaining. Like, I think that they could possibly pull it off, but that's a possible. That's like we play, yeah.
Maybe, yeah, that's a maybe.
But I'm kind of open to it. I mean, I think that they could do a lot with it. I think they could. But women, as far as women, I don't. It's hard.
I don't know. Yeah. Like I said, I'd rather just see now some people go through their albums and stuff, and they talk about it.
Just give me the
like,
BTS.
Yeah, give me a celebration of this or whatever, and we'll do that.
Right.
Or if they could pull it, I probably would want to see some more legends. But even with that, like, who do we have that could really 20?
Right. Exactly.
Remember, we talked about this even with like Toni Braxton. The catalog is smaller, but the hits are there. You know what I'm saying?
Large, yeah.
The impact.
And that was that time period, right? Songs, they let your songs run longer than 2 days.
Right.
But not the next thing. So yeah, I agree with you guys. I think would love to see it transition into something else. I would love to see some form of tour.
Some more what?
Some form of tour.
Yeah, same. Maybe they can just, stop it while it's good and then pick it back up on tour.
Yeah.
Because that'll like build momentum and stuff. Maybe like
I don't really know how a tour could work because I don't see two of the same artists like going city to city doing that. Unless there's like a lot of money in it or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they would burst. Like, I don't think they would compete.
Oh, okay.
Like, all the people that have participated, like, maybe there's different people in different cities. Kind of how they have the R&B Fest, where there's different people in different cities. Potentially it could work.
Yeah, and I was thinking, like, you know how when Chris Brown and Trey Songz went on tour, like, they didn't battle, but they went back and forth with their sets.
Yeah, like a co-headline tour.
Right.
It could work. Well, all in all, not a bad Verzuz. I think it fulfilled our childhood fantasies of having them two. Yeah. There were moments that we wish happened that didn't, but that's okay.
Right.
Overall, we're, like we said, we won't get into the personalities and all that kind of stuff because really that ain't what we do here. We stick to the music. Into the moment, but we'll say that it's just good to see them in the same room because, like, again, I didn't think that it would happen. Not this soon. Shout out to
ye of little faith.
Nah, ye know the truth.
I'm just kidding.
But that's that on that. But anyways, is she gonna wrap us up?
Thanks for joining us. Let us know what you thought about the Verzuz. You see how I turned on and changed my voice? But yeah, thanks for watching. Let us know what you thought about the situation in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
Peace.